Okay, I know it's been like 3 decades since this topic came out, but I really wanted to talk about it. I feel like Amanda Seals has. I think the situation with her talking about Issa Rae is just showing a pattern that I feel like we're all seeing, and I think who if she has a therapist, which I'm pretty sure she does, she needs to fire them and get a new one because she needs to do some soul searching. Let's talk about it. Hello, you guys. Welcome or welcome back to the Cake Radio Show. I'm the Cake Dive, and I hope you guys are doing well because today we're going to be talking about Amanda Seals. Now, for the girls who know Amanda Seals, y'all know about her because I talked about her on the Cake Radio Show last year on a different topic when she was talking about when she was like on the what's that one man show, the football dude. Um, dang, why am I forgetting the show? Shannon Sharp, the Shannon Sharp show. Like he was on Shannon Sharp's little show, and everybody was talking about. I was talking about it, talking about like the different things she was talking about on the episode, how I felt about how she was approaching that episode, and in that episode, I also addressed like the discussions that she had about Issa Rae and the situation that she had falling out with her, and then with I believe her publicist, if I remember correctly. Um, and recently, Amanda Seals. It was like 3 weeks ago. It's been a month, but she talked about on one of her live streams why she stopped talking to Issa Rae, and she was basically talking about how, and it's on her. It was posted on her YouTube channel. Um, she was talking about how on like the set of the fifth season, which was the final season of Insecure, by the way. They were talking about like a new show that came out, and Issa Rae was reading the review of the show out loud, and then Amanda Seals was saying that like once Ray finished reading the review, she asked like a question, um, and claimed that like Issa Rae snapped back and said like, "Why don't you just read it yourself?" And that was like the last day that like she chose to talk to her and stuff like that. She was claiming that there was like a lot of weirdness between the two throughout the past 5 seasons and stuff like that, talking on and on, and how they didn't never spoke to each other again. But Issa didn't really respond to that. I think it's also smart that she didn't respond to that. Um, and I know that, well, in September last year, she did do like an event for her like wine brand via Ray, and someone asked her about like people that she wouldn't work again and stuff like that. Um, Issa did actually address that back when Amanda was on Shannon Sharp, so it said, I mean, anyone who goes on a podcast and talks shit about me, which was a direct shot for Club Shay Shay and Seals on there. Um, but Issa has not addressed like this um issue that Amanda has brought up. And I don't think she has to. I think that there is this ongoing thing that Amanda Seals has against Issa Rae, in which for some reason she is like, well, it's not for some reason. There is a reason behind it, and we'll dig into that slowly but surely. But this girl has it out for Issa and is like freakily going out and like talking about Issa and saying that she had like really bad experience and a really bad time interacting with her, and that she was really disrespectful, and that she didn't stand up to her with the party thing and with the publicist and stuff like that. And while I was born at night in December, mind you, I wasn't born last night. And I think that it's kind of weird that Amanda has been trying to like weaponize, like once she's trying to use Issa's name for like clout, dare I say, because more people are willing to give her attention when she's discussing Issa Rae because of the fact that Issa is a big name and an established name now. And she's using that for bad. Like she's using that for in a negative light just to like boost herself and to gain attention off herself. And I think that the other thing is that she is trying to, I think she's trying to like turn the tides on Issa. Like I don't know if she's trying to like have people look at Issa some type of way, and like or like have other actors and actresses who've worked with her like come forward, or any writers and stuff come forward and be like, oh yeah, she's did me wrong and stuff like that. But oddly enough, it's given that it's just Amanda, because like other people who have worked with Issa, and again, obviously, if there is something that has happened on like the sets and stuff like that, obviously there would be some like there have been times in which people have been like talent has been awful to people on set, and someone has come forward and no one else has come forward. Um, those things like that happen. So if any of these claims have happened to Amanda, like I'm not trying to like disrespect her in that moment and like those feelings if they happen. Because at some of these things, like the party thing did happen, and she did feel some type of way. But on the other hand, I feel like the woman is very entitled. I feel like she also has in her head that everybody else is against her, and that like the moment that she doesn't get anything her way, she like throws a temper tantrum and she loses her mind. Because with the party situation with like the publicist, when the publicist very clearly like disliked Amanda Seals for whatever reason, which she doesn't have to get into the reason. Like people, like as all of us know, people just don't like people at some points. Like they, whether it's kids, whether it's adults, what have you. People will dislike someone for whatever fucking reason in the world, and you can do whatever you can to change that and do whatever. But at some point, that doesn't matter. People are just not gonna like you, and that is okay. You just have to like pay them dust and keep it moving. Um, and I feel like Amanda has not done that, because I feel like Amanda has one foot in, one foot out. Um, and there's a lot of layers to this I want to dig into quick. So, with again with the party situation, her publicist did not like her, still doesn't like her. Amanda tried going into this woman's party uninvited. The publicist catches her and is like, "Get that woman out of here now, because I did not invite your ass." And Amanda like kind of throws like there's an issue at the party. She leaves, um, and then she tries talking to Issa about it. Issa, and she like gives the publicist. She has the publicist reach out to her and try to have them talk about it. They're obviously not trying to talk about it because the publicist again does not like her, and it feels like everything has been said, and wants Amanda to like, I guess, apologize and own up to stuff. Amanda doesn't do that, so she wasn't gonna do that. And then when Amanda was like, "Can you do something about this?" Issa was just like, "This is not my place," and it really wasn't her place. Like, well, really, realistically, what was Issa gonna have to do? Like, have them sit down in person and have a conversation about this, which realistically would have gone down awfully. Because if the publicist doesn't like you, then she's still not gonna like you in person when y'all are talking. Um, and if anything, like she's probably just if you're gonna talk about your feelings and stuff like that, she's just gonna be like, okay, all right, to try to wrap things up and go, so she can continue hating you. Like it really doesn't matter. It really didn't matter what Issa did in the situation, because the issue was not Issa. The publicist was a little wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think the publicist was a little wrong with how she handled things, but the issue is you, sister. And the consistent thing about talking about Issa Rae and stuff like that, I think that Amanda is upset with the fact that she is not at the level of like success or popularity that Issa is. Part of her is like, she is emotionally intelligent. She is also just generally intelligent too. Like I'm not knocking the girl. Like I'm gonna tug on the girl's wig, but I'm not gonna knock the girl completely because I still have respect. But I think that, and she is aware of the fact that like what what Amanda brings to the table and what Issa brings to the table are two different things. Issa is a creative maverick, and she's also a business girl. Capricorns do it right. Hey, that's my sister right there. But the but Issa is known for like her storytelling. Like she's known for her writing. She's known for her directing. She's known for her acting as well. And even then, she's also been able to branch out to be a business girl. Like she has opened several businesses with different varieties. She's opened restaurants. She's opened coffee shops. She's opened um, like a hair care product. Can you more hair care? Like she's opened. She also opened a wine brand, and the girls. She's been able to branch out in ways that are able to like reach the audience that she was able to build with Insecure and continue to build off of it. Because a lot of the girls that be tuning into Insecure, like those are the black girls and the gays, the girls with the 4C hair, the girls with natural hair. They would love like seeing Issa rock her natural hair and stuff like that. Because Issa really doesn't do wigs. She does wigs sometimes, but she don't be doing wigs much. Seeing Issa with the natural hair, they're like, okay, like her hair looks good. Maybe I will buy the hair product. When it comes to the wine, wine and alcohol has always been an important piece to the Insecure show. Um, and even without that, like even on some of her like branch off shows, her and her other shows that she's done since that, like alcohol has been present for these shows as like emotional staple or as like, just a casual social thing because again everybody's grown. So of course it would make sense for her to have an alcohol brand. And it's the drinks are good, sister. I've tried it. Hold on. um, she's been able to like extend herself beyond Insecure in ways as well. And even with film and television, she's continued acting since Insecure. Even during Insecure, she's been acting off the show. Um, she's still been directing. She's still been writing. She literally has. She had a number one movie this year with One of Them Days, which she helped produce and was involved in. Um, Like she has been doing her big one consistently, and Amanda has kind of struggled. In all honesty, like Amanda has had her things during Incense Insecure. Don't get me wrong, she had the comedy special I Be Knowing on HBO, which at one point did get pulled as a result of the Warner Bros. Discovery merger and acquisition and what Zaslav was doing over there. You had the um the book that she did. I think it was like a series of poems. Um, she had the comedy show that she's done with the book that she's consistently been booked with. Um, and she's still been doing YouTube and Patreon and all these different things and still been interviewing people and doing her big things. So like it's like don't get me wrong, she's been doing reasonably well. It just has not been on the level that Issa Rae has done. Issa Rae has still been doing good as well because Issa Rae has been doing like she had a TurboTax. She started a TurboTax ad for the Super Bowl. Like she's been getting her money. Um, So I feel like Amanda sees her and sees the success that she's been able to get and is jealous, reasonably so. And it's like, I should have that. She shouldn't really be getting this because of like how she treated me on set. And that's just how it is. But I think the other issue that Amanda has is that I feel like she is forgetting the fact that like she has established herself as an unlikable woman. And the public in its misogynistic glory does not like that. Like, I'm not saying that she needs to kiss ass, but she has consistently. You know what? This reminds me of what Wendy Williams said when she was back on the show, when she was still doing the show. Free Wendy, by the way. But she talked about how I remember watching an interview of Wendy, and she was talking about how she tries to avoid having like friends in the industry while doing the show because of the fact that like when you have friends, it is very difficult to like you do something like the Wendy Williams show where you're talking about people and holding people to the fire because then they're gonna feel offended and then they're gonna like have distance that like grow apart with you or like be have issues with you because of the fact that you're talking about them on the show. And Wendy still had people who like respected her even if they were talking about her on the show. But she was intelligently growing distance from her and from like Hollywood because of that. And she was completely fine with that. Amanda Seales has drawn a line through the sand politically with Hollywood because of the fact that there's a lot of things that have gone on that she's not in support of. There's things that certain actors, actresses, musicians, um, online media personalities have done that she is not for. For some of these things recently show. And she's talked about things that like other people in the industry have not talked about or refused to talk about. Like she was talking about the stuff that was going on in Gaza before and more consistently than like a lot of other talent has done. And on one hand, I think that she deserves praise for that because again, she's been doing some of the work that the other girls are not doing. But on the other hand, I feel like there is part of her that is doing that because she wants the praise and because she wants to be like, oh well, I'm doing it, but they're not. Like, what's going on with that? And I think all those things have come together to kind of cause an issue for her, in which I think she wants to be loved and respected in the industry, but she can't. She's in a position where she can't really get to the places that she wants to be because of the things that she said and the ways that she's moved. And she has to kind of make a decision in which she's either gonna have to be okay with being in the place that she at is and like try growing from there and building with the audience that loves her as is, flaws and all, or are you going to switch things up to appeal to an audience who you've turned off and have avoided you? Like, I think there's going to be a demographic of people who are not going to tune into Amanda Seales' content, even if she switches up, and that's completely fine. And that's just because of the fact of the things that she's done, the things that she's said. Some people, unfortunately, because of misogynoir, because of the fact that she is a woman who is outspoken and who is intelligent. But I think that there is an audience of people who would tune in to Amanda Seales' content if she wasn't as like annoying, if she wasn't as if she wasn't having as many of like the issues and controversies that she was. Like she literally was having like and she was planning on having an interview with like Funky Dineva. And then like hours before that interview was gonna happen, she pulled out of the interview and did a like an episode talking about Funky Dineva and why she didn't like him. Like Funky Dineva aside, that is like very unprofessional to just pull out and then diss the person she was planning on interviewing. Like if you were gonna do that as is, you shouldn't have booked that man for the interview. Like there's just different things like that that have happened um that has caused her to kind of isolate herself in this space. Like I feel like she wants to be like she doesn't seem to have a space for acting. Like she doesn't really want to be an actor like that. Like she hasn't really had too many bookings since Insecure. If that's not the case, let me know. Um she seems to want to be more in like the talk show space or like the comedy space because that's kind of how she's moved since like post Insecure, I've noticed. Like she had the comedy special. She was on one NBC show that got canceled after like a season or two with like Chrissy Teigen for some reason. I think that show just didn't work just because of the fact that the lineup that they had on that show was very odd. Like you had like Amanda Seales, you had like um Foxworthy who was on there. And then you had like Chrissy Teigen out of nowhere for some reason. Like it was like just a very mixed, just random group of people. Like I don't know, like Chrissy Teigen to me was not giving comedian. Like she was giving, well, one she was giving weird because of those tweets and how she is bullying people. But to me was more so giving like influencer and like the person who like is married to Common. What? No, not Common. What's that one light skin's name? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, so she had that show that got canceled because no one was tuning in. Then she was on like The Real before that, and the girls were like, the issue with The Real is that like The Real wasn't real. Like the girls on The Real were not real at all, and the fact that she was trying to keep it real was not a good look because the girls weren't driving with it, and audiences weren't driving with it. Like I remember when she was on The Real, there would literally be controversies like with that audience, with Amanda. And because they were like, Amanda was saying things and they were just like, well, we're not feeling this. We're not trying to hear this shit. So I feel like and I feel like she reasonably would be able to kill it in like a talk show. Like I think she would be able to have or like fill the role of like someone like Charlemagne off the Breakfast Club, or even like a Wendy on like the Wendy show, where like she could command a room if given the space and the right tools and the right platform and also the right attention. But I think that she's just kind of struggled to like make herself likable, and I feel like on one hand she kind of pretends as if she is fine with that when in reality nobody is, and you can kind of see the cracks coming through. Um, what do I have to say to her? At the end of the day, she's just gonna have to like she has to make a decision, like what Nancy Pelosi said to Joe Biden when it was time for him to drop out of the election. You need to make a decision. Are you? And I said, I swear to God, it feels like I said this on the other podcast episode, but she's gonna need to make a decision. Is she going to continue doing the things that she's doing and saying the things that she's saying and continue alienating people and just kind of have that small audience that's not really that small because she's still getting a lot of money. Um, but that small audience of people who are still rocking with her and are still doing like buying tickets to the bookings, booking her, supporting the Patreon, giving her the money on the Patreon, you know, tuning into the live streams and stuff like that, or like, is she gonna be fine with that? Is she gonna have to take the step back, do some soul searching, and be comfortable with that, with some emotional maturity, or is she going to pivot, make apologies, whether she really wants to make the apologies or not, and you know, as Insecure said, do better, be better, to get to the places where she very clearly wants to be. Um, and because like at the end of the day, like it is what it is, but how are you gonna approach it? How are you gonna pivot to it? Because you're a celebrity, you already have this long laundry list of controversies. The girls at the end of the day are willing to give you the chance if you're likable. And so far you're not being likable. So like what do you want us to do, sister? I ask you this. There's my thoughts on this Amanda Mills. Amanda Mills? Amanda Seals stuff on the Cake Radio Show. Girl, it's been so rusty for me because I'm not recording podcast episodes in like 3 decades. So like the fact that I'm like back now, girl, I feel rusty. It's so bad for me. But I'm excited to be back. If y'all are excited for me to be back and like what I said on this episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube where you get episodes for anyone else. And if you're listening on podcast platforms, because we're available on 99% of podcast platforms across the globe, be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications and give the show a good rating because it helps. All right, y'all, it's been fun. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I'm going to talk to y'all next time. Bye bye.